Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, Empire Review Series videos I would do for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. It's been a little bit since I've reviewed something from this particular product brand, so I'm excited. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there, I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck, and whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today, folks? What happens to be my Invase shirt. See? Invase. It's a very cool design. I like it. What is Invase? Invase is a musical project from a gentleman named Ian Shearer. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. It's S-H-U-I-R, I think, if I recall correctly. But anyway, Ian's a super cool guy. Longtime musician, used to tour with a lot of different bands, typically as a drummer. I became aware of him when he was working as the drummer for a band called Straight Line Stitch, where it's still one of my favorite bands to this day, even though they need to get back together and do stuff again. I know they had kids and everything, and kids are our future and all that good stuff. But anyway, Ian's an extremely cool guy. I've been Facebook friends with him for a really long time. He's never been anything but extremely cool and positive. And although he no longer tours, he does still produce music under his project name, Invase. All of his music is available on his YouTube channel. I will go over there and actually include a link to his channel in the description of this particular video, because I like his music that much, and I believe in his project that much. So, hell, I got a shirt. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Been a while since I've reviewed something from this product brand, Well, yes, indeed, folks. That's because it happens to be, boom, it's Liquid Death, which I've reviewed a number of things from Liquid Death. But not this one. This is specifically their Squeezed to Death flavored sparkling water, which I had to look it up because it's not listed anywhere. I guess it's supposed to be orange flavor. They say it's a mix, like the AI-generated Google thing. God, fucking AI with everything. It said it was like a mix of like mandarin and blood orange or some shit. So I don't know. But I like the Liquid Death brand. And as far as their sparkling waters go, I've actually really enjoyed them. Part of the reason why, and somebody pointed this out in one of the last reviews I did it for it, is that they have, 4 grams of sugar, and then they also have added sugars for 8%. So probably part of the reason why I like their sparkling waters more than some of the other ones. But that doesn't change anything. I still like their stuff. So let's get a thing for you. I think what's going to be the best way to make this happen. Oh, it's like super, the lighting is terrible. Let's do it like that. Ha 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 ha! Let's give it a go. One day I'll get like an actual little lighting setup and proper recording equipment. Won't be today, but one day. When this YouTube thing starts feeding back into me a little bit, maybe I'll start up a Patreon or some shit. It smells nice and orangey. Ooh. Wow, there's a whole lot of flavor going on with that. Not all of it I'm in love with, but alright. So let's go in for another one. One thing I've learned from doing these reviews is don't base your entire opinion off the first sip. First sip is usually going to be very different than the rest of the experience, so. Yeah, a little bit. The second drink is always a little bit more subdued. It tends to be more representative of what the actual flavor is going to be for the rest of the drink. I like it. I like it a lot. One of the reasons why I like Sparkling Death, their flavored water, so much is because they really do feel like they're just shy of being soda. So I've reviewed a number of their flavors. The one that I always go back to is their lime flavor, because to me it basically just tastes like somewhat watered down Sprite. And it is genuinely one of my go-tos when I go for like a flavored sparkling water. Usually, if I go out, usually once a year I go out to a big concert. You know, I go to lots of concerts, but like a big one, you know, like an actual stadium one. And the one stadium that I pretty much always go to, they are always sponsored by Liquid Death, and every time that I go over there and I get a big old can of their lime flavored water. It costs way too much, but I like it for what it is. This, to me, basically tastes like somewhat watered down Orange Crush. I like the way that it drinks. I like the level of carbonation they have in it because it gives it like a thickness, you know? Like it doesn't just taste like a water, it's got some oomph to it. You know, that plus the sugar, it definitely helps it carry it, you know, and it gives it more substance, and I do like that. As for the flavor itself, so it's not like a heavily sweetened orange. It is, you know, going along those blood orange lines, mandarin orange. It's not, again, it's not like a sweet, like orange juice type orange. It's got more complexity to it. There is some sweetness, but it almost hangs more on the slightly bitter side of the orange. You know, almost kind of along the lines of sort of like, you know, the rind kind of flavor. But then still having that nice citrus aspect, still having a light sweetness to it. It's actually really nice. And I think that that's smart in what they did with it because, you know, even though, yeah, like I said, it does feel almost a little bit like a soda in the way that it drinks, by having it be this, it isn't just a soda. You know, at least in flavor, like it's not just trying to be, again, like a watered down crush or something to that effect. It's allowing it to still be its own thing, and I think in some ways to still feel a little bit more like a adult beverage, you know, not in like an alcoholic way, but in like a, you know, it doesn't taste like something that's made for kids kind of way. That's sort of how I look at this. I think that's part of the reason why maybe they chose the flavor profile the way that they did. It's not overly sweet, it still feels like a sparkling water, even if it drinks in some ways like a soda. And I'll be honest, I've had less flavorful sodas. Genuinely. I've had some cheap ass sodas that have had less flavor than this. Now, the only thing with this that is a little bit against it is that because it does have that somewhat bitter quality, at the very tail end of it, the last flavor you get is almost like a sort of bitter sour kind of thing. It's not like a crazy thing, but it's enough there and it doesn't have the sweetness to sort of counter it that, for me, it's not my favorite part of the experience. But it is fairly limited, and again, it just sort of hits on the tail end. Well, two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? I'm going to go with yes and yes. I think for me personally, while I don't like it as much as I like the lime, I would say it might end up being maybe my favorite after that. I like it. I really like what they did with it. I like the way that they appropriated and utilized the orange flavor in a way that wasn't what I was expecting. And again, I like the fact that as much as I love soda and, you know, love myself some Orange Crush, I like the fact that it does still feel like in the, you know, the realm of being a sparkling water brand, you know, something that Liquid Death would put out. I like it. It's nice. It's refreshing. Again, not going to quite beat out the lime one for me. I think if I'm going to spend $7 at a concert to buy one of these damn things, that's not where I bought this one, by the way. I bought it at 7-Eleven. But I think, yeah, it would definitely be one that I would grab every now and again. So, if I'm recommending it, though, I mean, look, when it comes to sparkling water, everybody obviously has, at this point, it's become fairly saturated within the world in which we live, you know? 10 years ago, not so much. You know, limited options, kind of was what it was. LaCroix, yeah, it's dark times. But now, we exist in this reality where there's lots and lots of options, and many of them are very good. I've reviewed a number of them over the years on the show. I would still recommend it. I think it's not going to be for everybody. I think that's kind of what I was getting at, is like everybody already probably has their favorites. But here's sort of where I would tag these in especially. I think if you're somebody like me who you're not really a sparkling water person, but maybe in some ways, maybe you want to, something with a little lower sugar content, something like that, but you still want a bit of a bite to it, I think Liquid Death and their flavored waters can work really well in that capacity. Also, I think that if you're already somebody who is a sparkling water person, but there's other brands available and stuff like that, maybe you want to, try to find something, I would say give Liquid Death a shot. It's outside of the branding and the whole thing and, the kill your thirst stuff and like that. There's just a really good product, I mean, I like the branding. I think it's fun. But don't be off-put by it. Give it a go. They have some really nice flavors. They also have teas and stuff like that. And I would say that although not every single one of them has been a huge winner for me, I will say I think this one personally is. So, but anyway. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year, folks. Go over here. So it was a truly Liquid Death-tastic rest of your life. I guess, say what you want, man. They started out as basically being a meme, and now they're like this hugely successful. I remember when I first started doing these reviews, you could not get Liquid Death most places. Typically, you either had to order it or you had to find it at a specialty shop. That was kind of the thing. Now it's everywhere, so good on them. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated, but what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, what's your personal opinion on Liquid Death? Do you still see it as being a gimmicky marketing thing? Do you appreciate the flavors that they've done? There's one flavor in particular I want to get my hands on. I'm probably going to have to order it, though, because from what it sounds like, it's only available online. We'll get to it if I get to it. I'm not even going to bring it up unless I find it. But, yeah, I'd be really interested. Is it something that you actually go with, or like I said, you just, not go in for it at all? Leave your comments. I'd really be interested to see what you have to say. But anyway.